again, everyone. The Snowman here, and we've got just one tennis tournament left on the calendar this season. It's the ATP Year-End Finals. This is the first year that the ATP Finals will take place in Turin, Italy. The 8 best men's players from this season ready to do battle. So we're going to preview the matchups today, take a look at all of the head-to-head records, and make some predictions for the ATP Finals.
Let's take a look at the field in Turin now. It's the youngest average age at the ATP Finals since 2009, so tons of youth on display, but a nice blend of experience as well. Federer, Nadal, Thiem, Wawrinka, and a few others with injury-ravaged seasons, but take nothing away from these 8 men who've been the best that 2021 has to offer. We've had a first-time champ at the ATP Finals every year since 2016. It was Medvedev last year, Tsitsipas before that, Zverev, Dimitrov, and Andy Murray. And as we look at the groups now, the first group in Turin, probably the easier group. Number 1, Novak Djokovic, followed by Stefano Sitsupos, who's somewhat limping to the finish line, Andrei Rublev and Casper Ruud. Then in the red group, a bit stronger on paper, US Open champion Daniil Medvedev, Olympic champ Sasha Zverev, Italy's own Mateo Beretini, and Hubert Hurkacz. So we've got a round-robin stage where all players play the other men in their group once, with the top 2 players from each group advancing on to the semifinals, and then a final match to crown a winner. And recapping a few highlights from each gentleman this season, in the green group, let's begin with Djokovic. Certainly a historic season for the Serbian. So many positives to take forward for Joker, winning another Aussie Open, the epic semifinal against Rafa in Paris, and then coming back against Tsitsipas to win his second Roland Garros trophy. Straightforward triumph at Wimbledon to tie Roger and Rafa in terms of overall majors with 20. He passed Federer as well with most overall weeks at number 1, but the pressure of a Golden Slam did get to him late in the year, losing that big lead against Zverev at the Olympics and then getting blown off the court by Medvedev in New York. Took some time off and was back to his usual self in Paris last week, where he did win his 37th Masters 1000 title. Djokovic, no doubt the favorite in Turin. Some injury concerns for the 4-seed Stefano Sitsupos, who retired from a match for the first time ever in Paris last week. He had to retire with an arm injury, but hopefully he's ready to roll for these year-end championships. Nobody has recorded more match victories this season. Tsitsipas was definitely a bit hotter during the first half of the year. That epic 2-set comeback against Rafa in Melbourne might be my match of the season. Then the maiden slam final at Roland Garros, coming oh so close to his first major. He did have that bathroom break controversy at the US Open versus Murray, eventually losing to Alcaraz in the 3rd round. Jannik Sinner would be the alternate if Steph can't play. Andrei Rublev should be pleased with his progress this season. We knew that Rublev could dominate at the 250 and 500 level tournaments. His title in Rotterdam continued that trend, but he also took some giant leaps at the Masters 1000, semifinals in Miami, his first final in Madrid where he beat the king of clay himself, Rafa Nadal. Also made the final in Cincy despite getting blasted by Zverev there. I expect Rublev to be much more comfortable at this event than he was at his maiden ATP Finals last year, but I still got him a solid notch below these top 4 guys when healthy. And then rounding out the green group is the 7-seed Casper Ruud. I've enjoyed watching Ruud this season, 5 titles in 2021. Only Djokovic and Zverev have as many. Ruud, the first Norwegian ever to qualify for the ATP Year-End Finals. He's breaking records for his nation seemingly every week. Did go on a 14-match win streak over the summer. Ruud, known mostly for clay court play before this year, extremely heavy ground strokes, but he balled out on hard courts as well. Ruud, a member of the Labour Cup winning Team Europe side that 6 of these players were on. I give the 22-year-old a solid puncher's chance to advance out of this group. Switching over to the red group, we've got Daniil Medvedev, a pretty special year for the Russian, who began the season 10-0, undefeated as his country won the ATP Cup, the run to the final at the Aussie Open. Second time he was defeated by a member of the Big Three, but Medi finally flexed his clay court prowess in the spring. Quarterfinals at the French Open, another big title in Toronto, and of course the ultimate highlight, winning his maiden Grand Slam in New York, denying Djokovic a shot at history in the process, only dropping 1 set total at the US Open. And Medvedev's ability to cover the court at 6'6" continues to boggle my mind, hitting insane shots from close positions. It's only a matter of time until Medvedev is the number 1 player in the world. Also an incredible year on the court for the German Alexander Zverev. 5 more titles in the trophy cabinet. Already 18 titles total for the 24-year-old. 2 more Masters 1000s in Madrid and Cincy. In that final, he played against Rublev, and since he was the highest level of tennis I saw all year, Steffi Graf asked how he won that in under an hour. Of course, the gold medal in Tokyo, overcoming a huge deficit against Djokovic. Zverev 27-3 in his last 30 matches, seems more confident than he's ever been, playing a suffocating blend of offense and defense. Zverev a major threat to win the ATP Finals for a second time. Then we have Mateo Beretini, who's absolutely elated to be playing on home turf in Turin. Beretini achieved a plethora of personal milestones this season. The Italian reached his first Masters 1000 final in Madrid, his first major final at Wimbledon. Beretini, a menace to deal with on grass, where he was 11-1 in 2021. A lot of that due to his serve +1. He led the tour in first serve percentage of points won this season. Also had the second highest service hold rate after Big John Isner. So obviously it's an arduous task to break Beretini in his arsenal of artillery. And then finally, Hubie Hurkacz, a late surge at the Paris Masters last week, helped Hurkacz leap over Jannik Sinner to nab the final spot at these ATP Finals. It's been quite the season for the Pole. Title in Delray Beach, massive title in Miami, where he became the lowest ranked player to win a Masters 1000 tournament in 16 years. Hurkacz backed up that effort by reaching the semis at Wimbledon. He upset the 2-seed Medvedev and the 8-time Wimbledon champ Roger Federer at the All England Club. Just a really solid game. Hurkacz at age 24, one of the rising stars in the men's game. Pulling up the head-to-head records for all 8 men against one another, Djokovic is going to feel pretty comfortable against his group opponents. 6-2 versus Tsitsipas, 1-0 versus Ruud, and this will be the first time Djokovic and Rublev play each other. Kind of shocking to see that, but if Novak is motivated, I know he already locked up the year-end #1 ranking, and it's been a long season, but I think only Zverev or Medvedev can take him down in Turin. Something else that jumps out to me is that Rublev being 4-0 against Ruud in their careers, with Tsitsipas maybe not being 100% health-wise. That match between Rublev and Ruud could decide who comes out of the green group, so give the edge to Rublev. I think he does everything just a bit better than Ruud. Of course, they both have some thunderous ground strokes. On the red group, we know Zverev and Medvedev have had some great battles already. They're tied at 5 apiece in their head-to-head, but Medvedev has won the last 4 matchups, including last year at this event, and then in Paris last week, 6-2, 6-2. And Hurkacz is the X factor to me. He's got wins over Medi and Berettini. Should be 2-0 against Daniil, but he lost an insane match in Toronto this season where I believe Hurkacz won more total points, but Medvedev just able to pull a rabbit out of the hat on that day. Prediction-wise for the green group, I obviously think Novak will be one of the 2 players advancing. All these other 3 guys have a lot of weapons, but it's nothing that should trouble Djokovic too much. As for the other spot, my thought process is that Tsitsipas probably not 100%. I see Rublev taking advantage of that, moving on to the semifinals. Then in the red group, I really want to pick Berettini to move on. Fun fact about Berettini, he only lost to Djokovic at the majors this season. Aussie Open, he withdrew with an injury, and then Djokovic beat him in Paris, London, and New York. So Berettini in some good form. Too tough, though, with Medvedev and Zverev playing flawless tennis nearly for the last few months. So I think both of them will move on to the semis. And if I had to pick a winner, I'll say that Sasha Zverev beats Djokovic in the final. I just think he'll be a little less burnt out than Djokovic, who's had a long and successful season. He's probably looking forward to the holidays. That's why I'll take the German to become a 2-time ATP Finals winner.
Thanks a lot for watching my ATP Finals preview. Hope you enjoyed the analysis. Please leave a comment. Let me know who you think is going to do well in Turin. I'll be on the lookout for my other preview tennis videos as well. Subscribe to Snowman Sports Media. Follow me on Instagram at Snowman Sports, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.